Thank you for inviting me to talk at this conference, which has a very important title, Meet People Where They Are. And that being the theme of the conference, I find it very appropriate to talk about cultural intelligence, because people with a highly developed cultural intelligence will naturally meet people where they are. That is precisely the power of this kind of intelligence. And I'm taking the liberty today, for the first time, to coin a different name for it: tribal intelligence, as in tribe, as a human group. So I will use both terms interchangeably, tribal or cultural, because I believe that tribal will help me convey this better to you, what this kind of intelligence really is. So what kind of intelligence is this? What kind of skills are contained in this thing? Why is it even called intelligence? Let's go back to when you were a child. Let me bring you back to those early days. I mean, your own personal life. Remember when your house, when your home was your entire world, your universe actually. Your entire conception of what was normal was defined by what happened inside that home, that bubble, your first home. Like the way you interacted with your parents and your siblings, the house rules, the priorities, the traditions, if you will, all within that little bubble. You knew all that. You learned all that without the need of using your intellect. But kind of like all those aspects became part of something that you just knew. You just got it. There was maybe like a natural absorption of all this knowledge that you needed to navigate there. As a young child, you knew what was expected from you in that world. You also knew what you could expect from your world. And you understood both the spoken word and the unspoken language as well at home. Like the look in your mom's and your dad's eyes, the tone in your mom's voice. You were comfortable navigating that world. Well, maybe you were not comfortable, but you knew how to navigate that world. You also knew what was right, what was wrong, what was polite, what was kind, what was appropriate, what was acceptable, what was not acceptable. All those things you knew, you just knew. All from your family, from this tribe, from this culture, during that period of your life. That bubble influenced and defined for you how you saw the world. I'm sure most concepts came prepackaged by the way your parents view the world. Your own parents' view of the world was what was transmitted to you, and you naturally adopted those. So you saw the world kind of like them. Then one day you got invited for lunch to your best friend's house. You entered this unknown home for the first time, a different bubble, a different world, a different tribe. And you immediately felt that many things that you thought were normal were not normal here. That was a weird feeling. What was appropriate and accepted and what was not, it was kind of blurry. It was just so different. How the adults address the children, how the children address their parents, their siblings, the way they interacted with each other, their rules at the table perhaps, the tone, the words that they used, the language, even the food they ate was probably different from what you knew, from what was for you normal. So many things. It was just a very different world. It probably felt odd and uncomfortable. You didn't know how to behave. You definitely didn't feel like you were a fish in your pond. This was not your pond. It was a different pond. But I can bet you that by the second or third time that you went to your friend's house, you knew exactly how to navigate every aspect of that home. You understood their sense of humor, their rules, how they lived, their preferences, how they communicated with each other. You learned their codes. You were a fish who could perfectly swim in your pond and also in your friend's pond. At that moment, you had increased your tribal intelligence or your cultural intelligence by 100%, because you had just doubled your ability to understand and to perform with people who were different from you, people from a different world. You have developed a skill to understand, to perform inside a different culture, a different tribe. In fact, I bet you could perfectly pass as one of them. And that is actually what this intelligence is all about. Fast forward to today. Think of one of those friends that you may have who seem to have no problem navigating an Ivy League cocktail party where everyone sees this person as a natural member of this tribe. And then the next day or a few days later, this same person is equally comfortable attending another social event, maybe a funeral or a friend's birthday at a poor neighborhood, all blue-collar families maybe, where everyone is like working class. Yet this same person is seen by this group as a natural member of this tribe as well. I'm talking about a natural ability to interpret and to learn unfamiliar gestures, behaviors, and be able to mirror them or to learn them and to perform with them. Some aspects of tribal intelligence may be innate, may be genetic. I won't go there, but because of my experience and my studying, what I normally base this on is in a form of immersion. And speaking from that vantage point, I can assure you that this form of intelligence is available to most humans via some form of immersion, like I said. And fostering this kind of intelligence comes with many, many gifts to yourself. This skill will help you be a better professional, a better leader, a better partner, a better parent, a better neighbor, and much more. Even though I'm an advocate of using immersion as the most effective way to grow in your tribal intelligence, there are studies out there that seem quite encouraging, that speak of some forms of learning via training. And of course, even though that's not my experience, I'm very open, I'm very excited about other people finding other ways to grow this form of intelligence, because I believe it's a tremendous tool for everyone. For instance, there is a Harvard study, it's a couple of years old, that affirms that anyone alert and motivated and poised can attain an acceptable level of cultural intelligence. And they learned this through a survey with 2,000 managers across 60 countries. Tribal intelligence is the kind of intelligence that must be taken very seriously. It's too damn useful not to take it seriously. It's too mind expanding to take it lightly. It opens doors for you because you get it. You just get this. And your ability to navigate effortlessly at a different context, a different culture, just like the kid who had learned to navigate the friend's pond. So imagine the usefulness of fostering this kind of intelligence for yourself. It is a tremendous gift to yourself. I realize now that I have been interested in this kind of intelligence long before it had a name, or long before I knew it had a name, because I believe that in the Western world, the concept of cultural intelligence is about 25, 30 years old. Now, on the other hand, I heard that the yogic concepts or conception of the mind speaks of about 16 different parts of human intelligences across the entire human system. That's why, even though I admit ignorance about the knowledge of people in other areas of the world and this about intelligences besides that of the intellect or IQ, where I believe the Western world has focused on, I'm convinced that tribal intelligence, whether the name is appropriate or not, is a legitimate form of intelligence. And again, without claiming or even knowledgeable in yogic understanding of intelligence, just knowing that other people, like the yogis, speak of different intelligences aside from the intellect, it just feels right. It just makes perfect sense to me. Because I know people with a brain intelligence that makes your jaw drop to the floor, with a tremendous IQ, but the same person in all of his or her brilliance cannot relate to navigate situations that obviously escape this ability to learn with the brain, with that IQ, with that intellect. It seems not to be available to capture other forms of knowledge. That's why I believe that what I call tribal intelligence is a tool that can change lives. It can change the world.